Alright. Hello everyone, I'm not streaming or anything, by the way. Hello everyone, I am here today to tell you, or show you, my workflow. I am going to do a line for magazine today. I'm going to animate this line for magazine. It's not animated yet. It's for BFOD 3. Let me play the clip.
I've been living on this planet for 17 years and I've only had to call 911 once in my life.
We're probably not going to animate the whole thing in this recording, but I'm going to animate some of it since it is the least spoilery thing I have to do for BFOD right now, and it is, yeah, I've wanted to do an animation tutorial for a while now, so let's get started. I already made this starting pose. She's in this pose. She's kind of like unimpressed, so she has like one hand on her hip and the other like down because she's too lazy to put her other hand on her hip. She has the unimpressed eyes, and yeah, I actually put a lot of thought into that pose. So let's start. So first we're going to have to go a couple frames deeper into this animation. I'm at frame 1069 right now since I've already done a lot of this scene. So let's keep going. This is where we'll place our first set of keyframes. So to make a set of keyframes, you just got to drag down here and then press F6. Yeah, you got to click, hold, drag down there, press F6. That's all you have to do. And you only have to make one of them when you start at the first set of keyframes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away from that. So yeah, that's all you got to do for like the first movement. So she's saying, so this first word we're doing is I've. So she's obviously referring to herself. So let's do a gesture to show that she is referring to herself. Let's start off by just selecting her whole body so we can move it, dragging this anchor point, the rotation point. So like let me go over a bit of what the rotation point is. So what you have to do is, so this rotation point is something where you can is the point where you rotate an object around. So this is where so around here is where I normally put it. So she moves fluidly. And we can change that however we'd like. So, say she wants to move. Say we want her to lean more that way. And then what you can do here, these are her legs. And I'm sorry, the box is going to be a little bit off for the whole thing because the symbol is slightly rotated. See, minus 5.2 degrees. So yeah, please ignore that. Just when you want to skew the legs, all you have to do is select the legs, hold an Alt, and drag around here. So the feet will stay in a basic position for the whole thing. And I moved it on the wrong keyframe. And always keep these parts, the tops of her leg, on the same position on her body as well, like this. Like, it wouldn't be realistic if I did a movement like that, right? So always keep the tops and the feet on the same position on the body, and you can move the body as according to the legs as well. And I apologize for the background noise as well. So then, what we're gonna actually have to do for this, objects just rotate in all their movements. So that's all done. Now what we have to do is the rotation point is slightly off for this. Just ignore that. So what you've got to do is rotate this, so we'll know that she's referring to herself since she's putting her hand on herself. Basic gestures, basic animation stuff. And now I've got our two poses. Maybe we can move the face. And to move things in one direction, all you have to do is hold Shift and move it. Move a selection of things. Oh, by the way, you may actually be seeing this and you can't like move it or anything. The way you can move it is you have to press Q to go to the free transform tool here, and that is the way you'll get the box, like that kind of box. Also, since I haven't explained yet what these sets of keyframes actually do, like a keyframe, let me demonstrate, is Like, let's just draw this. It's going to take a while since I drew a pretty complex brush stroke. And it's not going to completely crash. It's just going to, yeah, it's just taking a while. And if you have a keyframe and you draw that, by the way, F6 to make a keyframe. If you drew that with a keyframe, one keyframe, it's not going to change. That maybe, say, if you go over here and make another keyframe, rotate it,
I've been living on this.
it changes in the animation. And I apologize for the background audio as well. Well, the audio and the animation. So, I'll go over that later. If you rotate this without a keyframe, without another keyframe, it'll just stay like that for the whole thing. So, yeah, a keyframe is needed to actually change things and move your animation. What is also needed to move your animation, nice segue there. So, ignore that. So what you need to do is actually click and drag anywhere within these two keyframes to actually move the character. Then you gotta right-click, create classic tween, and I'm not sure if you have this, but properties. If you don't have it, go to Windows, go to Window, and then find Properties here. It's also Control F3. Then once you select the tween, select this. This blue thing is called a tween in the animation. Yeah, these blue things with the arrows on them, they're tweens. Once you select all the tweens. It doesn't matter where you select them. You just have to select them all. And then go to Ease under tweening here. Change it to -100. Drag that down. Just drag it down. And then here's what you have so far for this shot.
I've been living on.
Pretty good, but not good enough. So it seems that we've just stopped choppily right here. It doesn't move anymore. So what you gotta do, make another set of keyframes, and then move it like we did before. And by the way, normally, if you rotate things, you rotate them like this. Normally, I actually rotate, like, if you don't hold anything and you rotate it, you just rotate it like that. But here's another way if you want to, another way you can rotate it. You can hold an Alt and then rotate like this. Or this. Or this. It depends on which one of the corners you choose. But for now, since we rotated like this by just moving the anchor point and rotating like that, on the other keyframe, we're going to do it for that keyframe. And we're also going to keep the arm moving since that can't stop as well. And we're going to continue moving the face, just like we did before. And did we move anything else besides the legs? Yeah, we need to move the legs. And then we can do the same thing we did with the last tween, but change this ease to 100 instead of -100.
I've been living on.
The movement on the face is way too exaggerated. I just now noticed that. So we're gonna move the face back a bit.
I've been living on.
Good. Very good movement. Maybe we could put this a bit more to the left. Yeah, boy. That's good. Am I streaming? Alright, I am not streaming. That's good. It normally takes a lot shorter amount of time to do a movement. I just, decided to take 9 minutes on this movement just to dumb it down. Let me go through, another one of these movements, but in less time. And by the way, this is the normal way I do things, so I'm sorry if I'm going too fast for you.
Pooping dog.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast for you, you have every right to pause or slow down the video using YouTube's speed function, if you would like. And this is the custom ease section. I use it sometimes, and a lot of people hate me for using it, but I don't care, since it gets the job done.
I've been living on this planet for.
Yeah, there we go. And then, what we are going to do here is we are actually going to use one of the 12 principles of animation, anticipation. So what I'm planning to do for these next few keyframes is she's gonna put her hand up here like this. She's gonna put her hand like this, and I'll tell you how to do an arm flip later. And then she's gonna put it down a little bit and do something like this, where she points. Because I actually tend to use that arm a lot in animation. So let's see how we do this. First, we're gonna have to make a set of keyframes only 5 things away from this, because it's pretty speedy and unimportant. Rotate it again. If you do not know, I am using Adobe Animate CC 2015.2. To do this, we are going to have to rotate this and put it up here. But oh no, we have this arm isn't flipped. It's still in the same orientation as it was before. And if we do this, and if we just change the arm like that, maybe we could rotate it a bit more, put it a bit more down here, and we just do this tween. Oh no, it looks like complete and utter crap. Like, what is this? Have no fear. Have no fear at all. Let me just put this back to normal so it doesn't look like an alien organism. Since it doesn't look like an alien, so it doesn't look like an alien organism. Have no fear. Symbol duplication is here. So what you gotta do is right-click on this arm, click on duplicate symbol, just enter, name it whatever you want, I don't care. And then Control-A to select all, by the way. Select everything here. And then go to transform if you don't have it. It is in here, transform, Control-T. And then click on this, little thing on the bottom here, this symbol. Bloop. Wait, that's the wrong symbol. Crap. Click on this symbol. That flips it all horizontally. And then just move it as according to this. Just put it... There we go. And let's try this again. Okay, we only have one problem now. This is moving the wrong way. Again, have no fear. All we can do is make a new keyframe here. So the tween goes in a different way. Maybe we can stretch this and guide it the right way. And there we go. And what we can also do is have, like, as the animation industry calls it, overlapping action, and we can also have this arm move to make it more realistic. Because, let's be real, this and the body aren't the only things that are going to move. We got to get some arm action in there as well. So let's do the same thing we did last movement. Just keep everything going. Give everything a bit more oomph. No, this is too much oomph for the legs. And let's look at it. I'm just going forward and reversing in the timeline. I could also put this down there. And then let's make it where she points, as I said. This arm. I'm sorry that is terribly drawn, by the way. So, what we're gonna do here is we are going to put this down here, rotate it like that, skew the legs again, put this arm further down, and put that arm down, and put that arm down. And there are still a few problems. We've got basics, but we still have a few problems. This arm is still the same as before. And these eyes have always been the same, and this arm has always been the same. We need some variety. Again, have no fear. Swap symbol is here. So what you gotta do when you want to change an arm, right-click, swap symbol, and then this is just another arm folder. These aren't all the arms we have. We have this other arm folder. Well, at least I do. You probably don't, but you can use stuff from the BFOD or BFDI assets if you want. So what I'm going to change this to arm bent point better. Oh no. Luckily, I already have a copy with it flipped. That is how I store my stuff. That is how I've always been doing it. And let's see. And she is getting a bit angry here, so why not change this as well? Maybe something like that. But that isn't good, so let's flip this. Because not flipping it would be unrealistic. And maybe we could put this a bit in, and lower on here as well. You know what? No, that does not look good. Let's just keep, never mind. Changes happen in animation, undos happen a lot in animation. And you can do the same thing with the eyes. Yeah, for pretty much everything, you can do the same thing with the eyes. So apparently the eye we want is not in this folder, so let's go into another folder down here, my other folder. And sometimes the eyes will be flipped, but not on this one. I'll also fix the eye flips later. And maybe this could be a lot different. Oh. So here we go. Here is a big, here's a big thing. Line width. So, if you want to make a line, so let's make a line. Let's press N to make a line. It's going to be black. Change the color, like that. And yeah, there's a line. Let's select the line. This is a bit boring, isn't it? It's just it's just a line with round ends. So if you want to change the ends, just go to here, cap, none, or square, which is a longer version of none. Or you could also do round, but what you can also do is change the width. And this is a feature exclusive to an Adobe Animate CC. So you can change the width to one of these. And you can still change it like this. So if you want to have an eye be closed or something, you can just do that and put it there. And if you want to have a mouth, you can also do that. And there, cute little face. But that is not what we're looking at. What we're looking at is how we can use this in object animation. So we can change this eye wrinkle, and that's what I call them, to 1.3, which is the pretty much my universal eye wrinkle width. Eye wrinkle stroke width. And we can change this width to this width profile right here. There we go. Better looking eye. But now we still have this eye. So let's change it to something like this. No. Okay, never mind. Change it to something this? No. And yes, this is also something that goes on. And we can also change these. Duplicate symbol, it just changes the symbol, by the way. I'll go over symbols later, probably. And there we go. Different eyes. And maybe in retrospect, yeah, retrospect, I'm saying that correctly. These eyes are a bit too, these eyes are way too angry, by the way.
17 years in.
So, she wants to be, we're gonna make her, like, more egotistical in this scene. Since she's like, I've been on this earth for 17 years, and yeah. So we're gonna be doing that, and we're gonna be changing these eyes to these eyes. Since these are like egotistical eyes, what is this? Welcome to meme hell. The band of United Losers leading a secret hideout, and it spells bullshit. Alright, now back to work. Maybe we can make a whole new eye for this. Make a eye. Let me find this eyebrow. I'm just gonna find an eyebrow. Break apart the symbol. And by the way, anything that puts a box like this around it is called a symbol. Or a box like this, for that matter, as well. And by the way, backspace or delete to delete things. And Control-Z to undo, if you didn't already know that. In that case, why are you watching this video? Learn basic computer stuff. So, let me transform this by flipping it horizontally. Move it over here. That looks good. That looks good. I like that. So, I'm going to move back here. Do another classic tween. Minus 100.
17 years in 17 years.
And what I'm going to do is make it bounce. I'm going to make it more exaggerated than this previous frame, since that is another way we can do a movement called bounce back. The other one was called follow through. So I'm just gonna do all that. Ease 100 out. That looks a bit too exaggerated. So what we're gonna do is create a set of keyframes here, drag them over here, where the other set of keyframes are.
17 years.
So the tween goes there, and that's not enough. By the way, you're not off sync. That was just me being nervous for some reason. So there we go. That is a less exaggerated keyframe. That is a more exaggerated keyframe.
17 years.
And the arm is the main point of the animation, so we don't really have to worry too much about everything else. Well, the main point of this movement, I mean.
17 years in.
And maybe we can move this down a bit.
For 17 years.
And sorry for the lag. We can just, if you want to get rid of this FPS drop, you can just click on this. You can just make the audio invisible, the audio layer invisible, so it doesn't have to keep up with the audio, and you can just see all the frames in a row. It really helps. Good movement.
Years and
And she's gonna be a lot more happy in this next keyframe. Just select everything except her legs. She's gonna be happy and confident in this one, so we're gonna have her held up high. Swap the symbol again. Go into arm special for me. You hopefully don't have this unless you're an II animator. But then we change this to arm curve hip. It could be called something different for you, but That's what it's called for me. So, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. So, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to delete this arm. Put it all the way over here. Keep that arm. Copy it, paste it into another layer. Put it all the way over here. And then change that to the other one I have, which is flipped. You probably don't have it. You probably don't have that either. But, and we're going to make this leg a bit higher.
I've only had.
And she's going to also move. Her body is also going to move that way, in accordance to her legs. And her face is going to move and be held up a bit higher. And she's going to start smiling. This is where we go over the mouths, how to change the mouths. So, we aren't going to be doing this, because that is not a smile, that is a demonic hellspawn mouth. So what we gotta do is click on this, go to looping. Notice how this option says single frame, so we can change this mouth to mouth number 16. The mouth we were already on was mouth number 3.
I've only had.
By the way, these are all the mouths in order. I might as well go slower. By the way, you can see which number mouth they are is at here. Here's where you can see which mouth it is in the BFOD mouths, at least for me. There are 36 mouths. This one isn't used too much. This was custom made for this scene. And then we can create classic tween, -100. And then we are going to notice a lot of problems. The arm is really weird. And it detaches, so let's change this by rotating a bit, making a new keyframe here, rotating it a bit. That's better for that arm. And to create a better transition between this mouth and the other mouths, we can do this. Make the mouth more squashed in. And we can also change the mouth like this by holding an Alt and doing the same thing you would do for the rotation. And now we can make the other set. And we can also just edit this and make it a bit more exaggerated than the other one. Make it a bit more exaggerated than the other one. Bit more of an exaggerated pose. Put this farther in. Farther up. Farther here. And put the face like that. And not to mention, making the mouth like this. And then we can create classic tween. Do an ease of 100. Maybe we could put the face down. This kind of looks more like an arm flip, so let's alter that. And let's see it, just all the frames in all the consecutive frames. Just to make sure that it looks good. This doesn't look good at all. There we go. This isn't exaggerated enough. This isn't exaggerated enough. There we go. And then we're going to do like an arbitrary rocking movement here by just rotating her body and everything connected to it normally, and the legs normally as well, just to do that, and alternate, and alter anything as needed. Just do a classic tween, click this pencil thing, and we do a custom ease by clicking here, dragging this all the way up here, clicking this, and dragging this all the way down here, clicking OK, and it looks a lot more smoother now.
I've only had to call 911.
And then we're going to just copy paste this pose by clicking here, holding an Alt, and dragging it over here. Then just create a classic tween. But we are going to alter this a lot. Mainly by doing this. Changing that arm to this arm. And we can move this to automatically create a new keyframe in the tween. Move that over here and put that there. And this is going to be a bounce back movement. So what we are going to do is this, and this, and this, and this. And move this down.
911, what? 911. 911.
And we're going to
911.
nudge that to the left. Oh, by the way, if you want to know how I nudge things to the left and right like this, so what I do for that is I click on a symbol, I left click, by the way, and then use the arrow keys. And if I want to move it more, I do shift and arrow keys. And if I just want to move things like this, we can just use shift and move it in any direction. Any of the 8 cardinal directions. These. It's like an MS Paint.
Call 911.
And let's just look at it. All the frames consecutively. Good.
I've only had to call 911 once in my life.
We could make this more exaggerated. And then we can copy paste this pose again. I am so lazy, by the way. I am like probably the laziest person in the Object Show community of animators. And then we can just alter it like so. And put the face down. And she's going down here because she's finished what she's saying and she wants to hammer in the point. So she's going down like a hammer on a nail. Symbolism is what you need in animation. In animation, you need to spend 18 years raising a philosophy degree if you even want to succeed at all. I'm joking, by the way. But it is pretty cool if you know philosophy and animation. So let's just do a bit of bounce back. Exaggeration like this. Make the face go back a bit. Ease in, ease out, actually, rather. Do not confuse the two at all, please. And let's see this whole thing, this whole shot, without the audio, so it won't be laggy. Oh, by the way, she just arbitrarily changes to this point because... Let me show you because this is actually where the shot starts. Sorry about that. This is where the shot starts right here, and it does that. Right here is where the shot starts. So we don't need to animate anything before that. So it'll just change automatically like that. And I actually did a pretty cool thing right here with lamp. But let's see the whole thing outside the symbol this time. This is a different timeline, which is this is the main timeline outside the symbol for the entire scene. Outside of magazine's whole symbol, because this is a whole symbol, and there are symbols inside this symbol, and there are symbols inside this symbol, and it's just a bunch of symbols. So let's just watch it.
I've been living on this planet for 17 years, and I've only had to call 911 once in my life.
That's just with the audio. Maybe we could make this longer and more exaggerated. Exaggeration is key in animation, by the way. It is one of the 12 principles, after all. Yeah, so we can fill more of the audio. And now let's do it without the audio showing. Let's just see how I did the whole animation itself. There we go. That entire shot right there is done. I promise. I did what I was promising. So yeah, there we go. That is my workflow. I hope you learned something. I am sorry about the Skype. But yeah. I'll see you. Bye. Awkward ending. Awkward ending.